Part 18. Negative decimals. You will find this on page 46 in the Namibian Mathematics Grade 8 textbook, Y equals mx plus c to success. Now, negative decimals. When working with negative decimals, apply the rules for negative numbers as well as the rules for decimals. Let's look at an example. Without using a calculator, evaluate each of the following. Negative 7.89 minus bracket minus 3.45. So it's actually a subtraction sum. Now, what did we do with a subtraction sum? We change it into an addition sum by finding the additive inverse. And the additive inverse of negative 3.45 will be positive 3.45. What I sometimes tell my students, if you have a negative and you have a bracket and a negative, that bracket means multiply. So a negative multiply a negative. There is two negative signs and it's multiplication. So that's an even amount of negative signs. And that's why the result will be positive. But now, you have negative 7.89 and positive 3.45. So if the signs are different, what do? I subtract the two numbers. And now, look, did I move more negative units or more positive? More negative. And that's why the answer will be negative. If I look at this one, now I see I'm dividing by 0.7. And I want to make it a whole number. So I have to move that decimal point one position to the right. And I must then take that 2.1 and also move that decimal point one position to the right. So I will have 21 divided by 7. Do the same here. Move one position to the right, move one position to the right. So it's negative 4.8. Then I can say 21 divided by 7, that will be 3. Don't forget that it's actually now 3 over 1. So if I look at this, and I'm going to continue, I can say 3 can go into himself 1 time, and 3 can go into 36 12 times. And now I can divide 12 into that negative 4.8, and I will have negative 0.4. Why will it be negative? Because it's multiplication. And there is one negative sign, and 1 is an odd number, and that's why the sign will be negative. I want you to try now 19 number B, and try to do it without using a calculator. Okay. Let's start. It is negative 0.2, and it's square, multiply 16, divide negative 0.4, negative 20. Now, to make my sum, to keep the order of my sum, I'm going to do this part on the side, this part on the side, and then just bring everything back. So, if I look at this one, I'm having negative 0.2, and it's multiply 0.2. Okay, so let's multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 0 is 0. First leave the signs. We will now look at the signs. Put a 0, and then it's just 0, 0. Okay, if I simplify this, this is 4, 0, 0. Now, look, there is one decimal point. There is one decimal point. And together, that will give me 2 decimal points. So, my answer will have 1, 2. So, my answer will be 0.04. So, I can go, and remember, it's negative times a negative, it's multiplication. So, I can count the negative stripes or negative signs. So, there's 2, that's an even number, so the result will be positive. Now, do the same with this one. So, if I look at this one, I'm having 16 divide negative 0.4. Now, again, move it one position to the right, then put a 0 and move one position to the right. So, it's actually going to be 160 divided by negative 4. And now, this is basically how many negative signs? It's division, so I can count the negative signs. There's 1. It's an odd number, so what will the sign be? Negative. And then 160 divided by 4, that will just be 40. So I can go and I can put it in here. Okay, now don't forget that I must first do this multiplication. Again, I can do it here. So I can say it's 0.04 and I must multiply with negative 40. Okay, we can now look at the sign. Okay, so this will just be 0. Then put that first 0, then 4 times 4, that will be 16. 0 times 4 is 0 plus 1, so it's that 1, and then 0. And then it's 0, and it's 6, and it's 1, and it's 0. Now, there was only 2 decimal points. There was no decimal point. So my answer will have only 2 decimal points. So my answer will be 1.60. So basically this, just remember it's multiply. I can count the negative signs. There's just 1. It's an odd number. So the sign will be negative, and it's 1.6. And you can leave out the 0, minus 20. Now, what do I do if the signs are the same? I keep the sign, and I add the numbers. And if I add that, I will get 21.6. So this was equal to this, and this was my final answer.